Yo, what's up guys? In today's video I got a bunch of Chicago Bulls news and rumors surrounding the NBA trade deadline. But before I jump into today's video, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Also leave a quick like on today's video. It takes a second, helps me out a lot. And some comments and questions below today's video about the rumors that I'm about to jump into. Also, just a heads up, by the time you guys are watching this video, I'm probably going to post this Saturday morning. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be down in Indy. You know, I went to the Bulls versus Pacers game Friday night. So just a heads up why these rumors and this video is a few days late. Also, check out my last video if you guys missed it. I was talking about how Lonzo Ball potentially can return earlier than expected from his injury. The Bulls reportedly called the Oklahoma City Thunder for a trade. And I was also talking about where is Marko and where he's been this whole season and why the Bulls haven't gave him a chance. But nonetheless, let's just jump right into the trade rumors that just came out a few days ago. You know, Bleacher Report and a bunch of articles just came out surrounding the Bulls and the NBA trade deadline. And Bleacher Report did list Dennis Schroder and Paul Millsap names to watch before the NBA trade deadline for the Chicago Bulls. And according to Michael Scotto, you know, I've talked about him and made videos about him for a while now. You know, he's an NBA insider. He owns a podcast, and he's always talked about any trade rumors surrounding the NBA trade deadline. And he classified Dennis Schroder as a name to watch for Chicago if the Boston Celtics do decide to trade him. I know there's been a lot of talk about how the Celtics are expected to trade him at the trade deadline to save money or whatever like that. And the Chicago Bulls are also reportedly going to be interested in Paul Millsap. I made a video about a few weeks back talking about that whole situation. And of course, with the Bulls pretty much dealing with injuries since the start of the NBA season, especially as of late due to Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso. And with both those players expected to be out, I'd say anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, maybe less, maybe more. The Bleacher Report and Michael Scotto did list Dennis Schroder as a potential trade target for the Chicago Bulls. You know, Schroder, obviously he was the meme for last offseason. He turned down a bunch of money for the Lakers and then just signed a one-year contract with the Boston Celtics. So he is on a one-year deal, which I already don't like for the Chicago Bulls. I don't believe we should give trade assets up for, I'd say, another point guard or a guard that the Bulls really don't need. I'd say, in my opinion, when everyone is healthy. I mean, in 45 games for this season, he's been pretty solid for the Celtics, including in 25 starts. You know, he is 28 years old. He's been averaging about 15 points per game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and about 1.5 three-pointers a night, which are numbers that are right in line with his career averages. And since that rumor did come out, there's even some talk about how the Bulls and Celtics have discussed a Dennis Schroder for Troy Brown Jr. trade. And it's looking like the Bulls are looking for some guard help. I understand it's just short term due to Lonzo and Alex Caruso being out, but that does kind of surprise me in my opinion. And I'm going to be honest, I just don't really believe in this rumor. I don't understand it. I feel like the Bulls don't need guard help, especially Dennis Schroder, especially on a one-year contract. I saw that the Celtics and Bulls discussed a trade. You know, the Bulls would have to give up Troy Brown Jr. in a second rounder for a half season of Dennis Schroder. I mean, there's also been a lot of rumors surrounding Dennis Schroder's name for a while now. How there's always drama with him in the locker room and teammates not liking him as well. So I'm not a big fan of this rumor, and honestly, I really don't believe in it. You know, the only reason I see him being connected to the Bulls is because, you know, 2 of Dennis Schroder's best seasons came in 2018, 2019, and 2019 and 2020 with the Oklahoma City Thunder, when, of course, current Bulls head coach Billy Donovan was OKC's head coach. And given how, I'd say, used to he is playing with Billy Donovan, you know, it does make sense how Schroder could fit with Chicago, and obviously a really good offensive unit in LaVine, Demar, and Vucevic. So definitely let me know below today's video if you guys are interested in Dennis Schroder. You know, according to many reports and articles coming out, the Bulls and Celtics even had some trade talks surrounding him. I just don't really believe this, and in my opinion, I feel like the Bulls really don't have a need for him. I like Troy Brown Jr. He's just inconsistent at times, and I don't believe Dennis is really worth, I'd say, a second-round draft pick, especially what the Chicago Bulls just did with a second-rounder in this last NBA draft, drafting Ayo. I just don't think it's worth it, in my opinion. Definitely let me know below today's video about that topic. And the second topic in today's video is about Paul Millsap and how the Chicago Bulls are interested in adding him to this roster. You know, Paul Millsap is on the verge of turning 37. He is a 4-time All-Star, but he seems to be nearing the end of his career. You know, he has really struggled this season. I made a video about a few weeks back about how him and the Nets came to like an agreement, how they're going to move on and trying to get him onto another team where he can just play more. And in only about 24 games this season, he has been averaging all career lows, you know, only 3 points per game and 4 total rebounds in only about 11 minutes per night. He really hasn't been playing. And I've said this in past videos, I believe Paul Millsap would be a great addition to this roster. The Bulls really wouldn't need much output and just, I'd say, great numbers from Paul Millsap, but he could definitely help out the Chicago Bulls' weak front court depth, especially due to injuries to Derrick Jones Jr. and Patrick Williams. There's also not a ton of depth behind Vooch, but Millsap could definitely help out the Bulls if he does get bought out. I mean, Millsap is a prime buyout candidate, given how things haven't really worked out between him and the Nets, so it's obvious that the Bulls would be interested, especially with them being really interested in him for this past offseason. And according to many reports last summer that Paul Millsap and the Chicago Bulls almost came to an agreement. He was a close second before he did sign with the Nets. And while it's believed Paul Millsap would prefer to land in Chicago, you know, having a connection to the Bulls lead executive Arturis from their time shared in the Denver days, you know, that doesn't surprise me. It just made sense. I feel like it's just a perfect fit in heaven. Hopefully he would get bought out from the Brooklyn Nets so the Bulls wouldn't have to give up any assets. But at the same time, I don't think I would mind giving maybe a late second rounder for him if possible. I'd rather, of course, get him for nothing, but who knows? But given how secret the Bulls front office has been in the past, it's hard to tell how much weight, if any, we should put on these two rumors. In my opinion, I just don't understand the Dennis Schroder rumor going around. The Bulls are already guard heavy, especially when they get healthy for the NBA playoffs, and I really don't feel like Dennis is the best fit with this Bulls team. I could be wrong, but I just don't see why the Bulls would trade for him. I feel like we need a backup power forward or a starting power forward or a backup center, and I believe Paul Millsap would easily help that out, especially if he does get bought out and the Bulls could get him for giving up nothing, just some money. I'd definitely be interested. So definitely let me know below today's video if you guys want the Chicago Bulls to target Dennis Schroder or Paul Millsap. You know, I've said this for many videos now. I just believe it's the smartest and best for the Chicago Bulls to just either wait for a player to get bought out after the trade deadline on the buyout market. I feel like that's just the best. The Bulls are kind of limited with trade assets. This team is, I mean, they've been playing great basketball. They're the best team in the East. I just don't really see a reason why the Bulls should make a trade unless it's an obvious steal, of course. I say we just play it smart, wait for hopefully a big man to get bought out. If no big man gets bought out, I don't know, man, but I believe that's still best bet. Definitely let me know below today's video what you guys want the Bulls to do at the trade deadline. Thank you guys again for all the love on the channel and the past few videos. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Have a good one.